Hi, Nina Sharma welcomes you to another episode of Let's Talk with Nina. This show is very different today. Ab tak we have covered topics, we have brought guests over जो beauty world से थे, skin care industry, health and fitness. लेकिन आज का जो topic है, हमारी society में people don't talk about it. Mental illness. लेकिन mental illness मेरे ख्याल में इसलिए हम बात नहीं करते because it sounds so negative and we run away from it. But how about if we put this topic in a very positive way and we talk about that? तो आज मुझे बड़ी खुशी हो रही है in our studio my really good friend, my dear friend Mandy Sunday. तो आज हमारे स्टूडियो में वो हैं and we are going to discuss not mental illness but mental wellness. Welcome to the studio, Mandy.
Thank you very much, Nina, for inviting me.
And as we were discussing prior to आज जब हम इधर आ रहे थे, that we were discussing कि life is all about a story, isn't it?
Yes. Everybody has a story. You have a story, I have a story. Everywhere you look, everyone has a story. And somewhere in between all those fragmented stories, there is a universal story.
And please tell us your story then. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you very much. I normally say there's not probably much to tell, but I was born in England to Punjabi parents. Both of my parents have now crossed over, non-physical. There is no death, so I won't say that they're dead because it's an illusion. But anyway, I was born in England, and I was brought up in England, went to the schooling system there. I'm married, and I have 2 sons, and I have 2 grandchildren now as well. But basically, I worked in the corporate world, starting in England, and then we emigrated to Canada in '94. And coming to '94 again, I worked in the corporate world, large corporations in the IT telecommunications space. And a few years ago, my mother passed away. Father had passed away when we were quite young, so that was okay as well. And at that point in time, I started to question, the meaning of life. Why are we here? What is our purpose? And it was interesting that that question never evolved prior to my mum passing away. And at that time, my life took as they say, the story evolves or unfolds in many different ways. I went on a journey, and I actually quit the corporate career and decided to explore. So after exploring that there is more to life than just working and going to work and living, and not having any meaning out of it, I decided to, explore those areas. And as I started to explore those areas, I determined that the universe, meaning the whole, we are all connected to that.
Absolutely. Whenever we talk about mental well-being,
yes,
we often think of mental illness.
Correct.
Right? We think about depression.
Yeah.
We think about stress.
Yes.
Whereas your website, which is unitedstarminds.com,
correct,
it's all about looking at life from in a very different way, in a positive way.
Yes.
It's all about empowerment. So talk to us about your website and talk to us, what is it all about?
Right. The website came about as a result of me exploring more about where do we come from, what is it all about, and so basically I created the website as evidences of experiences. It's very easy to write something in a book, but unless you experience it yourself, people can't relate. So there's small snippets of information on the website that explain how we are all connected and how the universe actually helps us, which then relates to mental well-being, happiness, and joy. There's some other information on the website, but it's in relation to the mind. We actually do create our reality. That behind everything that we physically see, there is an invisible force, and it doesn't matter what you call that name. I found it as a very loving, caring emotional, we can say being or whatever, but let's just use, it's a zone that you get into. And you realize that, oh, this has always been here. And so from that perspective, I like to sort of basically, the website is there to give the experiential journey so others can relate to it, and empower. It's really about empowering others.
You know, when I was growing up, and
Yes.
I think this is something that everybody can relate to, we're often told कि अपने, don't put yourself first, think
Yeah.
about others.
Yeah.
This is what, we all sort of have heard our parents saying, and when we were growing up, दूसरों के बारे में सोचो, दूसरों अपने बारे में सोचते रहते हो, अपने बारे में, but your philosophy is very different. You're saying put yourself first. Right?
Yes, exactly.
Talk to us about that.
When we were
and
chatting.
It's fascinating when we were chatting.
Do you remember when we were
what your
chatting and I
thoughts
said,
were?
well, Nina, you have to put yourself, you have to be number one.
Yes.
You see, I'm number one in my house, and you have to be number one in your house.
Yes.
If we are not number one, we cannot give to anybody else. Nobody else can be number two. So number one is not in an egotistical way. What it is nourish yourself first. Feed your soul, feed your mind. We eat food to fuel our body, but fuel your mind and your soul. And as you feed and nourish yourself, every day, 15 minutes hopefully, if you can spare that, what you'll find is you have more to give to others. Because otherwise, in our culture, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰੋ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਦੋਂ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ?
Yes.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਆਤਮਾ ਨੂੰ ਕਦੋਂ fulfill ਕਰਨਾ ਆ? How are you going to serve yourself? You say, because you have nothing to give anybody else.
But that's what stress is all about, if you think about it, right?
We stress ourselves because there's so many demands from family. My husband wants this, my child wants this, my in-laws want this. But if you fulfill yourself first, nourish yourself every day. I was saying take 15 minutes. If you wake up at 7 o'clock, wake up at 6:45. If you wake up at 5, do it early. If you're waking up at 4 or 5, you're probably doing it anyway. You're probably nourishing yourself. So spend 15 minutes every day just to focus. Think about the day that's going to unfold today. What is it that you desire from from the day?
Yes.
The sun is going to come up. Sun is going to shine.
Yes.
You can turn your face away from the sun.
Yeah.
And you won't receive those rays, but the sun is always going to be there for you. So in the same way, nourish yourself so that you actually become like a sun, that you have energy inside of you, that you feel invigorated and fulfilled, and you're life-giving. And it just puts a spring in your step. You enjoy doing everything. You'll wake up and you'll love making breakfast for everyone.
Yes. This is the point. This is what I was thinking. The day I'm happy.
Yes.
Everybody's happy in the house.
Yeah.
And going back to it's exactly what you're explaining, isn't it? Put yourself first. That doesn't mean you're selfish.
No, not at all.
When I went to school, obviously I lived in 3 different countries.
Yes.
I was born in India, and then I came here as a teenager. Then I went to live in England for many years. I always used to wonder, in India, growing up, I was always told, think about others, think about others, think about others. But when I came here in school, we were told, no, you got to put yourself first.
Yes.
So I could never understand that till actually when I was much older.
Right.
और अब ऐसा होता है that when I'm happy, everybody's happy.
That's right.
And when I'm in a bad mood or I'm cross, everybody's suffering because सब मेरी stress जो है, वो you can see it in our family members as well. Is that what we are talking about? Is this what you think?
I think we are talking along the same lines. We can spin the story again. We all have a story. Once you start to research more about the power of thoughts, power of emotions, and your feelings, and you start to understand that, hang on a second, my feelings and my emotions are actually creating my reality. Our thoughts are like magnets. How often, Nina, have you sat down and thought of something or somebody, and the phone rings or something happens, and you're like, oh my God, I was thinking of that. How did that just happen?
You know, you're so right. But I've never put that in a context,
Yes.
right? कभी सोचा नहीं है that, oh, it's because I'm thinking about that person, that's why
Yeah.
the person was thinking about me at the same time, and
Yes.
the phone rings. Isn't that all the negative energy and the positive energy? Isn't that what this is all about as well?
Well, you know, well, yeah.
So if you're putting
out negative emotions, you're
emotions.
going to notice that everything around you is negative.
Yes.
Try doing this as a little experiment. If you're negative and you're seeing negativity all around you, go out to the stores and you're going to experience the same negativity coming
Yes.
back all around you. It doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah.
But if you put yourself into a positive mental state and you go out in that day, notice how people might be walking
Yes.
their dog and they're smiling, there's children laughing. The universe is a mirror. Shishaya. Just
Correct.
shisha hunda hai.
Absolutely.
You know, whatever you put out is reflecting back to you. So this is why mental, nourishment, putting yourself as number one is so important. And you're not putting yourself as one, you're actually telling every single family member the same message, whether you say it verbally or not. You're thinking, I can just look at my husband and I'm thinking, you're going to be number one because whatever you're feeling and is what is your journey.
Yes.
And I allow my children the same space.
Yes.
Let them, they have the answers. The greatest teacher, we all have a teacher, and the teacher is inside of us.
You know what? ये आपने बड़ी अच्छी तरह से explain किया that putting yourself number one doesn't mean कि you're selfish.
No.
The way you explained it so beautifully, it makes perfect sense.
Yes.
So we're getting a signal for the break. So when we come back,
Yes.
we're going to continue talking about
Perfect.
mental well-being. We'll be back. Welcome back. तो हम बात कर रहे थे कि why mental illness and mental well-being, उसका मतलब what's the difference? और दूसरी हम बात कर रहे थे if you make yourself happy, your surroundings are going to be happy automatically. That doesn't mean you're selfish. So that's what my dear friend Mandy has explained. तो हम इसी बात को आगे लेकर के चलते हैं. There's another question I have in mind, Mandy. That is, when we come to these countries, we come here for a better life. But over the years, I've been here, all my life. मैं देखती हूँ कि our parents, our uncles and aunts, whatnot, वो इतना काम किया उन्होंने. They've worked all their life. They made big houses. But to me, they're still unhappy.
Right.
They've never really lived.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
Well, happiness is, we create our happinesses and we create our sorrows at the end of the day. And everything is all about mental balance, well-being. You have to balance everything out. Coming here to improve our life, well, that's wonderful and that's great. But, working our entire life and not taking any time out to reflect, why are we here and what is the meaning of this and why am I, if there are instances where people are not happy, to basically, move back a little and reflect and ask themselves this serious question and then make the necessary adjustments, mental, heart, soul adjustments to, ensure that they're back on the path of happiness. My mother worked her entire life in England. She brought up 4 children on her own. She was about just over 30 when my dad passed away. And, towards the end of her life, she said to us that I worked, my sari umar kaam kitta. ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਿਆ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲੀ. ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਪੈਸੇ ਕਮਾਇਓ, ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਖਰਚਿਓ.
Yes.
Spend your money while you're still alive, right?
That's a very good point you've just made, because in my line of work, I meet loads of women, I meet, teenagers, men, and then it's the same thing. This is what we talk about. Our parents are not happy.
Yeah.
When the parents are not happy, children are not happy,
Right.
because we keep on working for our children.
Yes.
But we never really live.
Yeah, we don't live.
We've left Pakistan, we've left India, we've left Bangladesh, we've left all our countries. We come here to make a better life.
Yeah.
पर सारी उम्र काम करदे दी निकल गई, and then we are passing that unhappiness, that, you know, that mental state of mind to our children,
Right.
and we never teach them how to live.
I don't think we've learned really, or we are now, because I'm seeing a lot more people starting to begin to travel, to explore more. You know, it's not about getting here, building your house, and then just living in that same house or that area for your entire life. You know, when you become, when you can, you know, take that little bit of time every day to focus and reflect on what makes you number one and happy, you have a tendency to become a little bit more carefree. You know, you don't worry. You don't worry that, you know, we've survived, we've worked our entire life, and we've been able to create a living. You will trust that that same energy, that same intelligence, that same life force will support your children.
Yes.
So while you are working, enjoy your money, enjoy everything about your, you know, your life.
Absolutely.
Travel, try different foods. You know, if you have a big house, downsize. You don't have to leave it to your children.
Yes.
Downsize, take the money and go do something with it that will make you happy. And I'm sure that your children won't be upset. They'll probably be happy that, oh, thank God mum and dad are now changing and traveling.
Yes.
You know, and it's so important that you give that freedom also, you know, first to yourself, but then you give that freedom to your children.
Yes.
Don't be upset if your children want to move away to another country. I left England. I moved, all my family were in England. I'm sure my mother didn't want me to come, but I saw a better life here, more opportunities, a different country. You see, change is good, but you don't have to move and leave a country. Change your city.
Yeah.
Notice how if you're in a particular area and everybody's the same, you're not growing.
No.
Because you're seeing the same things over and over again. We've never lived in an area. We've always gone to the opposite of who we are.
Yes.
If I was, you know, taught that you're Indian and this is your culture, I didn't do any of that. I did the opposite. And when you do the opposite, you actually learn more about the universal, the whole, where we're all actually one. And it really doesn't matter if you're Indian, yellow, black, whatever it is, your culture, if you speak this language, the universe loves all.
Because our feelings are same end of the day.
At the end of the day. And
our
it's
emotions are same. Human
Exactly.
emotions are same. And we all crave to be, you know, to be loved.
To be loved and connection. It's
Connection,
so important. We all
absolutely.
want to try and find our place on, you know, how does all this tapestry of this story come together? And when you start to explore that, you start to see that there's more similarities than you could ever imagine.
So am I right to say finding yourself is actually, that's the way to get rid of stress?
Yeah, finding, you know, connection to that invisible life force that's inside of you. That we may not be thinking about. You know, I read a lot of poetry.
Yeah.
And I love the poetry of Kabir Ji. I love the poetry of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, you know. And one of the philosophies of Guru Nanak was, you know, man jeeta jag jeeta. Je tusi apna man nahi na jitte hai na, then everything is like a tape. It's a record player. It's a movie, same movie over and over and over again. So conquering your mind doesn't mean I've conquered my mind. No, you're allowing that loving life force to flow through you, and you're noticing how it's working through you. It doesn't say I don't like this, I don't like this. It's saying I love it all. I love all of you. And so you become that living life force as an example for all others to wonder and say, hey, if this is working for them and they're mixing up their reality and, you know, creating different, you know, versions of, you know, scenarios of what life could be, maybe I should try something. And that, at the end of the day, we can only teach from our own experience.
Yes.
I don't believe in telling people to read this book or do this. No. You follow what works for you, but I will share my story of what worked for me.
Absolutely. You know, another thing we were discussing when we were driving up here to the studio is hypothalamus.
Yes.
So I said to Yuki, it's all starts here.
Yes.
In your mind is the hypothalamus, is hormones.
Yes.
So say if I send a signal
Yes.
to my mind,
Yes.
which is my hypothalamus, and that will send signal to my body, for
Yes.
example, you know, further in my hormones, and
Yes.
wouldn't that reduce stress and sort of sort out the mental illness issues?
Yeah, and I think I was saying to you that we breathe every day.
Yes.
We don't focus on, am I still breathing? That breath of air comes through us constantly.
Yes.
That same breath of air, the force that surrounds that breath of air also desires that we also live our life. And so when we're thinking a thought, what we have to ask ourselves, where did that thought come from? And it's an interesting exercise.
Yes.
Where did that, sometimes we receive a thought and we let it go. We say, oh, it's just a thought. But no, focus on that thought for just a little bit and see how it evolves and unfolds.
Yes.
And when we do that, we'll realize these thoughts are flowing through me constantly, all the time. And there's so many options of thoughts. And if I'm going to entertain any one of these thoughts, surely there's going to be a positive outcome as a result of it.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, if I'm thinking a negative thought, I'm going to receive that.
Absolutely, because you're putting that out to the universe.
Because I'm putting that out to the universe, exactly.
So it's all about what you put out
Is what you get back.
what you get back.
I mean, computing,
I mean, it's really very simple.
Yeah.
And it's a very small, simple thought.
Exactly.
But how powerful.
How powerful.
And a whole well-being, not just from the outside, but from the inside.
Correct.
It relies on that thought.
Yes. I worked in computing, and in database marketing, you have whatever data you put into the system is the data that you get out. Use your analogy of the mind. The thoughts that you put into the database of your mind
As simple.
is the database that is going
As
to
simple. As
you know,
simple.
there's so many metaphors and analogies you can
Absolutely.
use, but you know, feed your mind soul food. It doesn't
Yes.
matter what it is. You can read poetry, music, whatever works for you. And there's infinite ways of nourishing your mind, but find 15 minutes a day to nourish yourself and see how, and because you're actually taking that time and focusing, you will start to see that this is working.
Absolutely. Mandy, that was, itni information, you've put it in very simple form. Thank you so much for coming to the studio and sharing your thoughts with us. One more time, if you can kindly give us your website address, and then people can, if anybody needs to reach you, they can either call me or they can just get in touch with you.
The website is United Star Minds, that's STARMINDS, unitedstarminds.com. And the information on there is freely available. Basically, they're just experiential documents on how every day unfolds and how the universe actually helps us.
On that thought, ab Nina ko ijazat dijiye. Next week we will be back with another episode of Let's Talk with Nina. Till then, take care.